So this is the front axle. I'll show you in a second here, but it actually, you can see where the military painted on half-ton. So some military supply guy, when asked to grab a half-ton axle off of the rack, picked the correct one, because these are actually 4 inches shorter than a standard Series 3 because of the requirement for a narrow track on the lightweight. So all part of the design requirement, so they could fit 2 of them inside a helicopter side by side. So anyway, that's nice to see that it's still got the half-ton paint on there. So I've never actually disassembled a axle before, and one of the things I wanted to make very clear is I'm not going to be doing a how-to video, because anyone who watches me do mechanical things is going to be going, oh, no, don't do that, oh. I'm not a mechanic, but like every Land Rover owner, between YouTube videos, the manuals, the parts guide, and a reasonable set of tools, you can pretty much do anything on these things. So I guess this would be offside. The offside hub was throwing brake fluid or oil or something all over the inside of the wheel rim. And so there's obviously something wrong in there. Now, if you remember on my first video about this, I was also thinking about maybe upgrading the braking and going to disc brakes on at least the front axle. So lots of work to be done on the front axle. And so this is my front axle. It's been sort of stripped down, cleaned. I painted it up with a coat of Dinitrol. It hopefully should keep it in good nick for a while now. The diff itself was rebuilt probably about 7 years ago, so I'm not going to take the diff out. I'm mostly focused on the hubs at the end. All right, so this is the first big change to Shimi that I have ready to go. This is my new disc brake conversion. So I think I talked about maybe upgrading the braking. So I wanted to move to disc brakes on the front. Being a Series 3, it has drum brakes all around on the front and the rear axles at the moment. And the braking on Shimi just wasn't good. So I did a bit of research. I looked at different disc brake conversions for series, and the one I selected comes from LOF Clutches. And the reason I chose it is because all of the parts, other than custom fabricated ones for the conversion process, are standard Defender braking parts. And so getting spares in the future will be simple. So for example, the discs themselves are standard Defender discs. So are the calipers, standard Defender calipers. Standard Defender brake pads. And this kit, you can get it in 2 forms. You get the bare kit, which is just the conversion parts, like the custom fabricated swivel ball housings, which have the fittings, I don't know if you can see that, for the actual calipers to mount on. But I went and ordered the full kit, which actually comes with everything. So I've got all the seals, I've got all new bolts that came with it. I have all the big fancy lug nuts and their sealers, Rayco bush, new swivel pin, Timken bearings, even comes with a couple of one-shot greases, the drive members, so basically the full kit. And so I'm going to fit this weekend. Or attempt to fit it this weekend. So another element of the braking system that I've decided to do an improvement to is my brake servo. So Shimi, being a late model Series 3, actually came with a brake booster or servo as fitted. I don't think this thing was really doing much anymore. Under hard braking, you had to stand on the brakes, so there really wasn't a lot of boost. I have replaced the master cylinder last year before the last expedition, so this component is good, but this is going to be replaced. So what am I going to go with? Well, I ordered from a company called Hasty Automotive, H-E-Y-S-T-E-E, I think, in the Netherlands, this improved brake booster kit for Series 3 vehicles. So this is supposed to give me a lot more boost, and it's designed to fit with a standard Series 3. It is a bigger diameter than this one, and because the lightweight is narrower than a standard Series 3, fitting it in may be a bit of a challenge, but this is 20 centimeters wide and this one's 22. So I've only got to find 1 centimeter on either side to fit it. So I think I can probably manage that. So between this and the disc brake conversion, I'm expecting to have significantly better brakes. So just before I get into the rest of the brake plans, so I was really happy that my swivel balls, which have come off the chassis, are in really good shape. There's no scoring, there's no indentations. They seem to be in really good shape, so I'm happy about that. So I'll be reusing both of the swivel balls. Now, I've been doing a bit of research, and I see that LOF Clutches is currently testing, and they say they're going to have it available this month, June 2026, a CV conversion for series vehicles for the front axles. So my half shafts, drive shafts in the front axle, use the old U-joint system. Now there's nothing necessarily wrong with this. It's pretty robust. Mine have been in there for at least 7 years, and there's no flexor play in them at all. This one is a 10 spline at the diff end, which is pretty common, and 24 spline at the axle end or the hub end. And the splines are in pretty good shape. There's no real wear that I can see. There's no cracks. So they're definitely in a situation that I could reuse them. Now the LOF clutch kit, I think they want to sell it for under 700 pounds for the pair of them. That includes the CV, the small end of the drive shaft, and the longer end. It's something I would consider, especially since I'm considering my gearbox options, but it's not ready now. And because I need to have all this stuff ready to go, the front axle, the rear axle, everything ready for the arrival of my gearbox, or my, chassis and bulkhead in a couple of weeks, I don't want to wait. So do go have a look though at LOF Clutches and have a look at those kits. And if you decide to go with one, I encourage people to buy them so that they're still in production the next time I pull this apart and decide I want to upgrade from the old U joints to the CV joints. So I'm using Corteco seals for the axle end. On the near side it was leaking horribly. This side was actually okay, but I'm going to replace both of them. So these are part number 217400G, if anyone's interested. And we'll get a little bit of grease and we'll get those tapped in there. All right, good morning. It's Sunday morning, so we're back in the workshop. I've fiddled around with the kit a little bit, doing the offside disc brake fittings first. So the first thing I did was I got the swivel ball, which I'm reusing from previously. It's in good shape. There's no real nicks or wear on it. There's no rust. None of the chrome has come off. So I fitted the new Rayco bush that comes with the kit, and the race for the lower bearing is in. We've got my brand new seal there on the back. So this is all fitted up to the axle housing. We're going to fit our swivel ball housing. So the lower steering arm is fitted and the bush is in there. Fortunately, the kit comes with a nice little packet of lithium EP2. So the lower bush is all nice and greased up, ready to go. And we've got our top pin to go on. There we go. Now, I was test fitting yesterday using 3 of the shims that were fitted, and I was getting about 14 pounds pull. And there's a discrepancy that I hear lots of video kind of mechanics talk about, where the manual says, I think it's between 8 and 10 pounds pull weight, where other sources say 14 to 16. So I'm going to go with the larger size, and then we'll just see how we do with that. So we've got this thing in here with 3 shims, and these are torqued up to the proper torque, which is 55 to 65 foot-pounds, I believe. I have to go back and check in the manual, and for testing it, I'm getting 7 or 8, 10, it's going up to about 12. So I might have to put, or take one more shim out, because I'm not getting quite enough pressure. Well, it goes up to 12. Let me reread the manual and see the workshop manual and the quotation for 14 to 16, which I've seen in some YouTube videos. Okay, so I went back to check the Series 3 workshop manual, not my Defender workshop manual. And it is 50 to 65 foot-pounds of torque. And the pull weight on my scale should be between 8 and 10 pounds. So that's actually exactly where it's sitting. It's actually about 9 pounds, I think. So I'm not going to adjust it. I'm going to leave in the 3 shims that are in there, and we'll leave it for now. If sometime down the road, after I've been driving it for a little while, steering is feeling a little loose, then I'll go back in and maybe adjust the shims. Okay, so here is my front axle with the hubs assembled. So it took me most of the weekend. A few lessons learned with the kit. One thing that had nothing to do with the kit is the offside swivel ball I had on upside down. I put the Rayco bush and the race for the swivel bearing in the wrong ends. And when I assembled it, I hadn't marked which was the top and which was the bottom. It looked wrong. I went and I checked. I did all the checking, and it said, no, it's interchangeable. The orientation doesn't matter on the swivel ball. It's all standard. It's just you have to make sure that the hub goes on to the swivel ball correctly. But when I assembled it, one end, everything lines up. The other end, because I'd have the swivel ball in the wrong orientation, my prop shaft was angled downwards. So I had to pull it all apart, take out the bearing race, take out the Rayco bush, flip it around, put them back in, and now it lines up evenly. So, bit of a lesson learned there for me. So the disc brake assembly, the drive members, everything seems fairly straightforward. So next step is to get the inner and outer races in and the bearings and all greased up and ready to go on the one of these stub axles on either end. So yeah, progress being made. Okay, so one last element for this week's video. I hope you appreciate my Land Rover t-shirt with a little PP logo in the middle. So on the PP, the Popsky's Private Expedition website, there's an online store that's going to be coming live around the end of the month, beginning of July. And we're going to be selling branded gear like the Land Rover shirt, some other branded PPE gear, some expedition gear. One of the very cool things that will only be available anywhere on the planet will be our custom sun compasses. Those are made by Bill Morgan, one of our PPE members and our chief mechanic. He's an engineer. And these are custom handmade sun compasses that we use on our expeditions, and we'll be selling them through the website. Now, also, I wanted to announce that Popsky's Private Expedition is going to have a stand at the Land Rover Owners International Show near Peterborough on, I think it's the 5th and 6th of September, 2026. So one of the deadlines that I have for Shimi in the rebuild is Shimi is supposed to be sitting on a display there. We're going to have 2 PPE trucks at minimum. There'll be a recruiting sergeant looking to sign up new people for PPE expeditions. There'll be a lot of information about our trips, about Cat 1 trucks. So if you're interested in the Shimi build and you think you can make it out to the Land Rover show, it's at a place called Belvoir Castle, or that's how I pronounce it. Apparently the Brits pronounce it differently. But yeah, come on out. Come and see us at the PP stand. And you can see Shimi. You can ask some questions about the build, what went right, what didn't go so well. And yeah, have a talk with the crews about what we do when we're out on expedition in North Africa. We're also actually having our pre-departure briefing at the show for all the crews headed to Algeria for the long patrol expedition in November. So I welcome you to come along. Anyway, that's it for this week. Like and subscribe if you enjoy what we're doing. A lot more interesting things coming up, like I'm collecting my new engine next week. I've got some interesting choices to make about the gearbox, which we talked about in the last video. And I think you're going to enjoy what I think I have coming up on that one. So yeah, stick around and yeah, see you soon.